and waiting while we just give it a few more minutes to see if people come on. If anybody has any special questions they'd like to ask, you can start typing your questions in the chat box and we'll try to answer them.
I need to keep an eye out for Vita, because it was Vita I was replying to and then she disappeared. I don't know whether you managed to get back to her or not.
We're going to give it one more minute. I hope everybody's having a good December. We're having a very warm one here right now in Southern Connecticut. It's in this like 60 degrees here today. I don't know what that is in Celsius, Claire, but it's
no idea what that is in Fahrenheit.
Well, it's warm.
Well, in Celsius.
I mean, for middle of December, almost Christmas, it's warm.
Wow. Yeah, we're not too bad. We've had sort of like a few storms and stuff, but it's all quiet on for the moment.
Here's someone else.
Liz, that might be.
Hello, Liz, if you can hear me. Welcome.
Hi, Liz. From Claire.
I know it's a busy time of year for everybody to carve out an hour of their time. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And I think we should probably get going. That way we can get everything done that we'd like to do. Here's Deborah. Let me just, oh, Michaela or Claire, you must be on the ball with those, letting people in. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you here. Anyway, well, since we're going to get started, I am Denise Arminio. I am a Genius biofeedback practitioner. I love using my Genius, and I also am a body code and emotion code practitioner, and I love using my Genius with it. It's been awesome using it in my practice, and I don't know what I would do without it. And Claire, would you like to introduce yourself and say hello?
Hi, Claire McIntyre. I'm a great supporter of the Genius, big fan. Been using it for a number of years, probably about 8 years. Okay, so it was the previous version, but yeah, and just helping sort of like people in the UK get on board and find their way around. So I have my own health issues or challenges, so I've been using that. Got the wearable on as we speak, but yeah, I'm here as support for everyone.
So now for anyone that's here on the call with us, is there anything, would anybody like to volunteer? Do you have any specific issue that you would like to work on? Probably a physical issue or like an emotional issue is better, but we can work on anything just so that we can see if you have any improvement by the end of the session that we do today. So if okay, Deborah's raising her hand.
Hi, I'm always happy to volunteer because
Well,
I learn a lot.
you.
I learn a lot that way too. So,
well, awesome. So what is it that you would like to work on?
You know, a couple days ago, I woke up
I'm
with
gonna put your camera on. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, let me put it on.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi. I woke up with extreme pain radiating across the back of my shoulder and down into my arm. And
Okay.
it was so very painful. I have been using some of the, I think somebody sent me, I got a free library from somebody with quantum K energies in it. And actually it's helped a bit with some other work that I've been doing with it. But we could try working on that. I think I'm not sure what the original cause is. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We don't really need to know what the original cause is.
Right.
On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being like severe, how would you rate the pain right now?
Right now, I'm going to say 5.
A 5. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get that lower for you.
Okay, great.
Is there anything else or just that one thing?
That's it.
Okay. All right, great. So I'm going to start by adding you in here. WILKINS. Is that right?
Yes.
Email and your birth date?
4/4/53.
4. Okay, so now we're just going to click next on the bottom here to get to the next screen. I'm going to bypass this screen. This screen is just for like client notes, but it doesn't affect the scan at all.
Okay.
And I am going to go up here and I'm going to, let me turn their lower hand. And I'm going to take a little screenshot of you. Sorry, sometimes I can't grab the picture when I want to. I just have to take it one more time. I think my trackpad on my, oh my goodness.
I was just about to ask you that, Denise. Are you using a mouse or a trackpad?
It's the trackpad on my
Mac.
On my Mac, but I don't know why this just started recently, which is, I guess I just need to use the command. So I'm just going to open in Photos. There we go. Hopefully it's in there when we go to use it. Okay. So now, Deborah, I'm just going to have you give your voice. So say your full name and then the vowels A-E-I-O-U repeatedly until the white line goes across the screen after 15 seconds. So I'll just give you a countdown. I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin, and then you can start. You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Deborah Wilkins, A-E-I-O-U. Deborah Wilkins, unconditional love, A-E-I-O-U. A-E.
That was perfect. Thanks so much. So we can hit voice harmonics down here. And what that does is it actually lets you hear what you just recorded in a frequency tone. Now, sometimes the interface with Zoom, you can't hear the frequencies as well. I'll try to play it. It's a really low pitched, but we can try to see. Can you hear it?
No, but I do know what they sound like.
It's going, it's just low pitched.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
I had to put my volume all the way up though. So anyway, okay, so now I'm going to hit next. And now it's actually analyzing the voice formats. And hit continue.
Right.
All right, now we're going to try to see if this worked and moved your picture in here. Oh, and it did. Oh, good. So your picture is uploaded and now we're going to do your analysis. Okay, is there an affirmation you'd like to leave? Oh, what happened? You went,
She needs to unmute.
you're muted.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I've been using I am unconditional love.
Okay. And anything else you wanted to add or just that?
No, I think that's it. Do
Okay.
you have any advice about that? About what to add there?
Advice, sometimes I do, I am love and light, or you can say I am a money magnet. Sometimes people like to
Yeah,
add that in. I am healthy. It's really personal, or whatever you want to add to it. There's, if you have an affirmation book and you just want to add that affirmation, you can add that too. And it could just be one word. I mean, you could just add love or unconditional love. So now we see this main first screen for anybody that is doing a trial and you don't have any libraries. You would just see biofield, body, and mind here. But once you either create libraries or someone shares them with you, or you purchase libraries, then you'll see this banner with libraries here. So if yours looks a little bit different, that's probably why. And on the bottom, we can hit begin analysis. And so by seeing that the genius is showing us body on top, that's telling us that you have your biggest disturbance in the body. And then it goes, there's something in libraries, mind, and then in your biofield. And so for anyone that's new here that has not worked with the genius very much before, the numbers on the right here give us some information. The genius works on a number range from 0 to 777 and 0 to 100. Those values are shown, are represented by the color blue. And those are usually observed to be items that are more, have had a more chronic disturbance. So you've had that disturbance for longer period of time. And then at the top of the range, around 680 to 777, those values are represented by the color red. And that would be more of a present, a more acute, thank you, a more acute disturbance. So, and then the yellow and green, that they're not as, they're just kind of in the middle in there, but often we will like to take the 600 and above range and the 200 and below range when we're adding things into the progressive insight tray, or I'm sorry, the main hold tray, but that allows you to do a progressive insight scan, because a lot of times those values that are right on the border of red or blue may show up as a high value. So we don't want to miss anything. You
Can I ask
also
a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
The progressive, will you talk a little bit about the progressive insights? I'm a new user, and I access that, but tell you the truth, when you come up with all of those numbers, and there's tons of them in the 100 level, and then tons, I mean, there's so many. What do you do with that?
Well, I'm happy to answer your question. Let's move along as we do it,
Okay.
because it might answer your question.
Sure.
And then if
Sure.
there's anything that through this demonstration, it doesn't answer your question, we can go back and help you
Okay.
answer that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. These arrows on the side, or like accordions, are showing you that there's information to go deeper. So you can click right on the colored line itself. So if we look at minerals, if we click on that line or touch on it, depending what device you're using, then you're going to see all your minerals. in here, and you'll then see the same number range. The only one that's different on where it actually goes too deep is when you look at meridians, and you can you go down to the actual meridian point. But before we get too much further, I just want to look at your aura. So I'm going to click on the line for aura, and we're going to take an analysis.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a picture here. Whoops. Oh, there we go. And so what I look for in the aura, and some people do it differently, but what I'm looking for when I look at the aura is bright, vibrant colors, pale colors, or like dirty, muddy colors. Very often that's telling us that there's like stagnant energy there, or things need to move. So I just really look at this screen when I take a snapshot in between on, you know, what's happening. Is energy moving? Is it still, you know, does it change from a mix of colors to starting to get more bright and vibrant? A lot of times I do notice, though, when you're working with a lot of items, sometimes it still looks a little bit muddy, but that's because you're just working with so many items that it's like your body hasn't had a chance to process everything.
Okay.
So I'm trying to this. So we have your aura picture. Now, the next thing I'd like to do personally is, so this screen, basically, aside from libraries, is everything that's in the Genius. When you click on System Overview, and right up at the top, it brings you to General Overview. Now, what happens when you do an analysis here is that it's like opening an accordion. So all those lines that had the arrow, if you opened it all up, it now reorders everything on that range from 0 to 777. So if we start begin analysis now, it's going to show you like your top items that are showing an acute disturbance. So you'll see shyness for you, gallbladder 17, spleen 19, governing vessel 27, your nervous system, again, some other, you know, you have some disturbance here in the meridians. Now, if you click General Overview again, it's going to flip it and show you all the low values, which are going to be your more chronic disturbances. So for you, the areas where you have a more chronic disturbance is in today's stress for the brain, sensitivities, animal hair, kidney 19, gallbladder 34, serotonin. So serotonin is showing up twice, once as the neurotransmitter and once as the hormone. And then again, you see it going back into some meridian points. So what I'm going to run this, I'm going to bring the timer up here to the top and click on it so that it shows 0 minutes. And the quick balance runs only the reds and the blues. But in General Overview, that's a lot of items because it's all the reds and blues from everything except for the libraries.
And I haven't seen this page before. So you find this under body systems, the general overview?
When you're in the system overview, you click or touch on system overview at the top, and it will bring you to this page.
Oh, how strange. I haven't.
Yeah, I use this. This is the first thing I use when I start.
I've never gotten to this layer, I guess. Okay, it's good to know.
So now you can see on the bottom, it says a 28% rectification.
Mhm.
So that's pretty good considering there's hundreds of items in here. So, you know, you can be, I mean, if you have nothing else to do or you're in a rush, this is always my go-to thing because you're working with everything that's red and blue in the whole main Genius
Mhm.
without having to drag and drop or do anything.
Okay.
So you had a 28% rectification on that. So now when I go back, I feel pretty good that I've touched on a lot of this. So if I don't get into every one of these lines, we've done a pretty good job. Now for you, I'm going to look into, we're definitely going to look at the spinal energy, especially since you have some pain in the back, but I want to look at where your today's stress is and see what's showing up there. So it's showing fungus and brain virus bacteria. So we can add those. And we can do that by hitting the plus button here. It will allow us, if we hit red items, it will bring all the red items and then all the blue items down into this main hold tray. So you can see by hitting this up arrow, it's showing you what I put in there. And then I can just close it out of the way. Inflammation. I'm going to put inflammation in the main hold tray also for you, given that you are having some pain. There's maybe some inflammation, and when we run a progressive scan, it might show that that comes up as a high. And we can also look at body systems here for you. And it's showing nervous, reproductive, you know, as a current or a present disturbance. Muscular, again, isn't really showing even in above 600, but I'm going to add that down here. I always like to add in digestive system, respiratory, circulatory. We can add those in here because they are below 200, and we'll add the reproductive and nervous system in there. Let's look here and put your spinal energy in. Now, spinal energy will first show on the screen in order of how your spinal column is laid out. So it's starting with your cervical one and then going all the way down to your coccyx. But if you hit where it says high to low, touch the screen, or in my case, since I have a cursor, I'm going to click on it. It will then reorder it into and show the reds, the yellows, the greens, and the blues. And when I use the spinal energy, I will always do 600 and above and 200 and below. Because there's only one yellow that we would need, that I'm just going to drag and drop it. And there's just one green that we would put in, and I think I've already put in this seed too. Oh, no, there it is. So we're going to add that, and I'm going to go into, I'm not going to work on these other ones that are here because I feel like we would have addressed that when we just did the general overview. But if you have more time, you could always poke around in that. I just want to look at things that are that I think might affect your back a little bit more. Emotions, I always look at. Those tend to be the root of mostly everything that's ailing us. And I'm going to put all the reds in and the blues, and I'll just scroll down so you could see what some of those are. Now, sometimes we may not feel that these emotions apply to us, or that we're not feeling those emotions that are coming up. But you have to remember that the genius is looking at the energies of these emotions, and sometimes the people that are that we're living with or that we're in close contact with all the time, sometimes we absorb emotions from them. So it could be something that you are picking up from someone else and may not be 100% representative of how you're feeling right now. And Bach flower essence is amazing to pair with emotions. It really helps to cut through and helps you be able to release some of those emotions that your body is holding on to. Again, I'm going to add the reds, and we'll go down and grab the blues. And something that I always like to do is, so we can just look at, I have this little list of the meanings of the Bach flower essences. And water violet, let's give you a little reading on what that might be. So water violet is finding comfort in independence and self-sufficiency, embracing the joys of a physical existence. So I don't know if that resonates with you at all, but that's showing that that's what's out of balance, like currently. And then a rock rose would be an imbalance on a more chronic level, and that's releasing fear and panic, reactivates courage to persevere and trust in the perfection of the universe. So I would think probably a lot of people with the whole climate that we've all been under the last year or so, releasing fear and panic is probably would resonate with a lot of people. And then we can go into the bio field. And the bio field is the energy field around your body. And this is something that I like to spend a lot of time on. I was actually I wanted to put spiritual protection in the, I'm going to put spiritual protection items in the main hold tray. I'm going to put all of them in. And I wanted to do those first and I forgot, sorry. But what I'm going to do is we're going to do an analysis, and I'm just going to run the ones in spiritual protection. So Deborah, this is Progressive Insights. And this is like the main where you want to run the frequencies. It's actually will reorder the probability of what your highs and your lows are.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just hit entities, cutting the cord, dark forces, chanting.
Is there a reason why you wanted to do that, Denise? Or
yeah, I find that when I start by doing that, or after the general, that a lot of times it will really help clear up the aura and help just clear things. I usually put it in the tray first, but we're just going to try it this way. Just going to run it for a minute right now.
Yeah, it's got some good things to shift, like releasing attachments, grounding.
I can't hear if you're talking. I'm sorry.
No, I know. Sorry.
So we had a 37% rectification on those. That's great. And I'm just going to rescan that and see if any of those have, if it's brought them more to the top or it's. So there's none of them are highs anymore. So that's good. And we can just to see what your analysis looks like after running that. Sometimes I run it a couple of times. Just the spiritual protection ones, and you will see the aura clears up. So you do see some more bright colors are coming in here, which is nice. And now I'm just going to go back to grabbing more information from the biofield here. We can look at the Nogiers, and this actually looks pretty good in here. I'm just going to grab Nogier G, which is the universal frequency. It has a lot to do with intellectual organization of the brain and the left and right side of the brain and communication. And for anyone who's not aware of what the Nogiers are the frequencies of your organs and your glands. So the genius will help to harmonize and bring back the original frequency of those organs or glands. Sacred geometry. We can add the spirals in here and these two blue ones. Your chakras, which I always think are important. And here we'll just add your blue, your solar chakra and your crown, which are low, but otherwise they generally look pretty good. The aura, we can add the aura here and put it in the main hold tray, but there isn't any information beneath that. It's just the ability to take the aura scan or not when you click on that line. And then Saveggio tones are similar to Nogiers, except they're frequencies that deal with the more spiritual aspect of things. And I will always add 528 hertz that deals with transformation and miracles and DNA repair. So that's really important to always, I feel, to add to each balance. And I'm going to add this 741, which is awakening intuition. So now we went through mostly everything on this front page. We also hit, again, a lot of it when we did the quick balance when we were in the general overview. So even though I didn't go in and out a lot of those other fields, we would have already run a balance on the ones that are red and blue. So now we can analyze the libraries. Sorry, it takes a while. I have a lot of libraries. I know I probably didn't answer all your questions yet, Deborah, on the progressive insights, but we're still going to go back there. I'm first going to look at pain for you. And I always like working with this Rife with frequencies. So I'm going to add all the reds and blues for sure. It's showing back pain, inflammation, back spasms, inflammation in general, relief, joint pains. I'm going to add in muscular cramps and spasms because your pain is like in your traps. And then on the bottom, lumbar compression, ulnar nerve, back pain, backache and spasms, pain in general, can add cell regeneration there. We'll even go into this frozen shoulder in here just in case.
Don't say it. Don't say it out loud. Frozen shoulder.
No, you didn't hear it here. We can, let's look at pain assessment location.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Now, where'd you get that? I'm sorry. How did that pain assessment location come up?
That's a library.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
So this is, do you have any left heel pain or a headache?
No.
And then more chronic, it says left knee pain, neck pain, knee pain, ligament pain.
Neck pain for sure. I mean, I have knee things on and off.
Well, that's showing up here. I'm
Yeah,
going to add these
yeah.
in. It could be that your pain here is, you know, you're not thinking about anything beneath
Yeah.
that. It's your left shoulder.
Yes.
I'm just going to add it from here. And we can look at causes. So we could put histamines in, nerve compression, spinal nerve.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add these blues down here at the bottom. And then we can look at, this is for injury and accelerated repair. Is there any injury that happened, or it's just kind of more muscular?
I mean, I've got some, I have a, supposedly I had stenosis
Okay.
around one of my cervical. I
So
can't
there is
remember which
some
one.
nerve compression and whatever in there.
Actually, yeah, and I've had a number of, what do you call it? You know, where you had whiplash things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put in healing and regeneration and perfect circulation. I'm going to go into now, I have a library vessels, just to make sure that you're getting good blood flow and everything's open up in there. So I'm going to go into this to clear and restore oxygenation. I'll put in all the reds and the blues on that. Let's see what some of these blues are. Vitamin C. Nothing so much that's making me think of those neck muscles, but it's always good to. But the arm vessels is showing more chronic too, so we definitely want to add those since it's around your shoulder and back. And I'm going to put in the ones that are 600 and above here as well, and 200 and below. And whoopsies. Let's look at your muscles. So general and joints, tendons, ligaments. Gonna add the fascia too. And we have your shoulders and arms and hand are lit up here.
I just have to give my husband a quick message.
Sure,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
No problem. So I'm just adding what's here, what's 600 and above and 200 and below, since this is the area of the biggest concern here for Deborah. There's a where's the relaxation? Why can't I find it? Oh, here it is. And this will help relax the muscles in here. So I'm going to put the reds and the blues. So we're already at 169 items in here. I am going to run the analysis for this. So I like to run them all for 1 minute first, twice, with rescanning in between. So now I'm just going to rescan this and see. It's kind of like having everything like come to the surface. The ones that are going to be like your real highs after we clear a little bit. We can just look and see what's in here. So let's just run these all again for 1 minute. And you had a good rectification on that first round. It was 58%. So that's really good. Maybe move around a little bit and see if it's easing for you at all.
Yeah, actually it is.
Good. So after this runs, then I will just run the highs for 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So now the percentage is a little bit lower, and that's okay too, because we've already worked through. You just had a 58% rectification on the first batch. So now it's trying to work through. So we could be getting to a place where the ones that are just tougher to budge, and that's why the percentage is lower. I know that someone asked that question about rectification going down. So I just wanted to show that a little bit.
Now, can I ask you something here real quick? Because I noticed this when I was running things. I've been trying to do it every morning and every night. I had a really good rectification number. In fact, it was quite high. I can't remember what it was, but then I did something else and it was low like this. And the aura had gotten less clear. Do you keep going until a certain point if you have the time and the space for it, or?
Well, I mean, I would go, especially if it's a physical pain, I would go a little bit by how you're feeling. More isn't always better. Sometimes your body needs to just,
Process.
have time to process it. Also, drinking water is really important. So sometimes if the scan keeps going and you're not drinking any water in between,
Mhm.
you might find that your body isn't able to process it as easily.
Mhm.
So always make sure you're drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, I do.
I can't
Yeah.
remember, I don't think I rescanned these.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So now I'm just gonna run the high on 3 minutes, and then we're gonna
Okay.
go back and see what your aura looks like after that. But you can see we're starting to get some neck pain up here.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's that left heel.
Well, yeah, I've had reoccurring things with that foot.
Oh, okay, so I never question the genius. It always seems to be, it
Right
always
on,
seems
huh?
to be spot on for the most part.
Meridian. Oh, median artery. Okay. Yeah,
And
my
everything is
brachial
connected.
artery.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what?
Oh no, just I know I've had problems with that brachial artery in my left arm. Pain in that area.
Well, whenever there's like muscle issues or things like that, if you have that vessels library, I always find it works really well, because you just want to make sure you're getting oxygen and blood flow
Yeah.
into those areas. So I
Okay.
find it works well for helping to clear the pain in there. Do you have any other questions?
Well, I was just going to ask you, can I ask you a question as a body code practitioner? How you use it with this?
Do I use it with
I
this?
mean, so do you, when you have, yes, do you wait until you get to these panels and test yourself, or are you just, do you know what I mean? When you bring the panel, how do you use your testing, your muscle testing, or
I do use
to
muscle testing, but it's not a requirement. That's just, something added that I can do because I work with other
yeah,
modalities, but you can get great results without doing that.
yeah, I know. I guess I'm trying, because I'm a body code practitioner too. So, and I
Oh,
use
great.
I used a few different modalities. So, and I've just started with this, and I haven't watched all of the videos, to be honest. I haven't quite had time yet, but I've played with it a lot, and I'm just curious how people incorporate their different practices, with it. But I know you can't go into that right now. So,
Yeah, but you can email me and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you.
oh, thank
For
you.
sure. You had
Okay.
28% rectification. So again, that's great. Can it be higher? Yeah, of course. I mean, it could always be higher, but it doesn't mean, like, even 20% is a great rectification.
Okay.
Let's go see what your aura looks like. And then depending on what it looks like, what we may want to look at to,
Ooh, that's my old one, right? My last
yeah,
one.
this was after we ran the spiritual protection. So now we could just hit begin analysis.
Which orientation is this person sitting at? Are they facing us or away from us on this aura thing?
The it looks a little bit muddy like now and like a little scattered. And that's kind of, I find that a lot after I've run a lot of frequency. So it
okay.
doesn't mean like you've gotten worse or done, or anything's bad. It just means more energy is coming in. Maybe like you see like a little bit more gray in here. Maybe it's a little bit stagnant. When I see that, personally, I like to run like libraries that are kind of like solutions. If you don't have any specific extra libraries, you can run the Bach flower essences, you can run essential oils, you can run even herbs. They're all kind of like solutions and can help break it up.
Okay.
I myself, my favorite that I like to use is Alaskan flower essences, or the gems. But looking at the Alaskan flower essences, it was red to begin with. That's
wow,
where
look at that.
I would go. Now, I don't need to add these into the main hold tray. So I'm just going to do a quick balance on these. So we'll run this for a few seconds and then we'll go back and see how it's shifted or changed, if it's helping to break up energy.
So when I'm looking at the aura picture, is that guy facing us, or is his back to us? Do you know what I mean? So I know which side of I like to know where those energies are.
It's moving from,
If you're the
he
audience,
would be facing us, but
he's on
on
the
the screen,
stage, so it's facing you.
he's
Okay.
facing you. So on the screen, it's moving from right to left,
Yeah.
but it's on the person, it would be moving the opposite.
Left to right. Okay. Yeah.
Just gonna stop this. So 54% rectification. That's nice.
Oh,
Now
good.
let's see how it's helped.
Translated
Aura.
to the aura.
So you see there's a big difference in there. So, hopefully that will help move things through for you. Now, if you can feel your shoulder, move it a little bit. How would you re-rate it? You were at a 5 when we started.
I'm going to say 2 or 1 even. There's just a little bit of tightness left.
So that's awesome. That's a huge improvement.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome
you.
very much. Does anybody have any more questions, or did you have any more questions as we're getting right at the top of the hour here?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
You're good. Did I answer all your questions on the progressive insights? I know that you had some.
I guess I think so. I mean, I think sometimes I'm just overwhelmed by how many 100% ones there are and how many low ones there are, and how do you get all of those?
What do you mean by how many 100% there are? Are you talking about when you go into entangled insights?
Oh, maybe that's it. But I guess I'm still not clear about, maybe it is entangled insights, but I thought I was getting into progressive. I'm sorry.
As a beginner, for those starting off, you can do so much without going into entangled insights. That's really when you want to just, like drill down a little further.
Okay.
But when you're starting out, don't feel just because that exists, that panel exists, that you need to use it. You can get great results. I don't even use that panel all the time. I mean, it's there and it's great, but it is so powerful without even using that. So don't, like, as you're starting off, don't overwhelm yourself and feeling like that you have to work with each area. I would get comfortable in just using the quick balance, the quick zap, which we didn't really talk about, but I would use the quick zap. For example, if we went into, let's say, maybe I wanted to look at a library. I'm just trying to think. like I just wanted to do the Alaskan flower essences, gems, right? Maybe there aren't as many here. Well, there are. And you wanted to put like all the, you wanted to work with more than the reds or blues. So it would take you out of your quick balance. And then I would put it in the quick zap. And then you could work with it that way. But when you're, for the most part, I would always be working with the main hold tray, adding items to the main hold tray, because when you go to the progressive insights, that's everything is, the Genius is looking at all the items in there in relationship to each other. And that's how it's deciding what then are your highs, mediums, and lows. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So items that may have been yellow or green when you looked at the libraries might show up red here.
Yeah.
Okay,
And vice versa. Yeah.
That's where it's different. That's how the progressive insights is different than the quick zap or the quick balance. It's running those frequencies, but it's just straight looking at those frequencies. And the progressive insights, there's algorithms that are working to look at everything relationally, and then deciding which ones are then your highs, mediums, and lows.
Okay.
Did that help?
Yes. Very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could I ask a question, please?
Is that Linda?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes, this is Linda Crockett,
Hi,
and
how-
I'm a longtime Genius user, and I also do body code. But I had a question for you.
Sure.
What I have found lately is that when I try to do a balance on a screen, I will sometimes not get a rectification numbers below, or sometimes I'll get the very same one as I got prior. And I have reloaded my device and everything. So has that happened to you?
Sometimes, yes, that happens. Well, first of all, if you've have the timer set to a specific like minute, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, if you end it before that minute, you're not going to get a rectification. Sometimes sometimes I have found if it's on 0, sometimes, although it should, sometimes it doesn't give a rectification. And I have experienced that myself. The other thing is sometimes I find that it doesn't change, but when I back arrow, it like recalibrates, and then you'll see what the new percentages are. So just see if that helps. Otherwise, please send it into support, and we'll keep adding that to stuff we show to Ryan.
Okay.
Look at it.
Yes, and I'm loving your demonstration of this. You do a whole lot same way I do, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at Denise at Insight Health Apps, and I'm happy to answer your questions. And Claire, you're Claire at Insight Health Apps.
I'm still here. I think Liz.
Yes, sorry, I can't find a hand to click on to, but just a very quick question, because I've been out of the loop for a little bit. Which version are you on now, please?
Me?
Well, Genius.
It's 16. Oh, it isn't. Bear with me, Liz.
I think if we go to, hold on, if you, I
can sign out.
it should say
16.9.4 I'm on.
Oh,
is latest.
I'm up to date then. Must have done it automatically. Thank you.
I would also say that sometimes if you're having those little glitches with the rectification, just make sure sometimes it's logging all the way out. Sometimes it's a question of just turning your phone off and giving it a hard reset and then coming back in. You'd be surprised how doing those little like things that we don't even think of right away, can help just with those little minor things, even making sure that you don't have so many windows open. I know sometimes I look at my phone and I start to close out and I'm like scrolling and scrolling and closing out of all of them. So when you have little issues that are showing up, try to do those things first and see if that helps you. I remember one time I was having an issue and Claire was like, turn your phone off and turn it back on. And it did the trick. So anyway, otherwise you can reach us in support and we're happy to help. And that's my phone ringing. So it must mean it's almost time to go. That's why everything's shutting down here. But anyway, it was such a pleasure working with everybody today, and we have the holidays coming upon us. So happy holidays to everybody, whether you're celebrating or not. Just have a wonderful festive end of the month and into the new year. And we will be seeing you really soon. And if you have any questions or any specific things you'd like to see us working on, please send an email. We'd love to know what you want us to look at, or if you have any questions that you want us to address when we do these lives. It would really help us to be able to help you. All right. So have a wonderful Thursday, wherever you are.
Nice evening, everybody.
Right.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.